have the foot sensitivity of a tramp champ. If I ever had to...
Ow, I just kicked myself in the dick!
Oh my god!
Hey guys, it's Parker Hatcher again, doing my daily video of the day. I guess that was kind of a strange thing to say. So today is Thursday, and my topic was supposed to be queer life, news and opinions. I do have a topic for that, but I can't do it today because I'm going to have somebody else do it with me. So I'm going to switch it up, and today I'm going to be talking about my tattoos. I'm doing this because somebody suggested it, and I thought it was an interesting idea. I do have quite a few of them, and they have very interesting stories, so I have a lot to say on that. Kind of get started with my first tattoo I ever got. I was 15, and I was living with my mother. Obviously, I was in high school, and I was talking to some friends, and I was like, oh, I really want a tattoo, and but I'm 15, so I'm not going to be able to get a tattoo. And my ex was like, oh, I can do that for you. I can just, take a needle and put it in some ink and kind of stick and poke type deal. And I was like, okay, I didn't know that existed. But I wanted one, and I was a young, reckless, horrible, rebellious teenager, so I decided to go ahead and do that. So what happened was, we went back to my place, and we got the needle out, we got some ink, and we ended up doing this. It says love, and it's on my knuckles, and I don't have anything on the other hand, just love on my knuckles. And I ended up touching that up later on when I became a tattoo artist. That's also something you guys probably don't know about me, is a few years back, before I got sick, I was actually a tattoo artist. I did it from home, so I guess I was considered a scratcher, but I did have all of the sterile equipment. Everything was legit, everything was professional, so I don't really do that as much anymore, but every now and then I will for, the right person. So anyways, that was the first tattoo I ever had. And let's see, moving on. Holy crap, I have so many. Right, so once I learned about the whole stick and poke deal, I had a really bad drug addiction as a teenager, and I have been sober for coming up on 8 years now. But I was kind of messed up on something, and I decided it was a good idea to stick and poke myself this. And what that is it's a chaos star. Basically, I ended up putting 3 of them on my body in a triangle to sort of deflect the chaos out of my life. It might have made it worse because I don't think any of that has really left. So I did that, and again, a few years later, I kind of touched it up and made it a little bit cleaner. So a lot of these tattoos I got, through traveling and being other places, and kind of when I did travel, I always got a new tattoo because I figured, well, I'm in a different place. I want to document that somewhere on my body so I can remember it forever. But a lot of them I did myself. So I don't really know what happened after that tattoo. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, after that tattoo, I got another chaos star. This was my first professional tattoo, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's the worst. I got that. It was not supposed to look like that. It's totally faded. I could touch it up, but I am not left-handed, so that would be difficult. So I just kind of left that. And, man, I've just got so many of these darn things. A couple years later, this is stuff that I've been building for the last 10 years. Like I said, I got my first tattoo when I was 15. I'm 25 now. So this is just 10 years of kind of documenting my life. A lot of people don't really know what this is. What it is, it's kind of tribal style. It's sort of, I kind of wanted it to be like an angel of death. And it sort of ended up being kind of like a protection sort of thing for me. It's very confusing. At first, it sort of looked like a banshee to me, and I was kind of like, yeah, I like all that dark crap, so give me a banshee. But to me, it looks like an angel. A lot of people don't really know it. Those are the wings. There's only one wing because it's just coming from one direction. It's tribal, right? That's the head, and those are supposed to be her hair coming down, but for some reason it looks like arms. I don't know. Okay, so this one, it's kanji. I think everybody who's ever had a tattoo, how do I do this, has got one of these. It means infinity, and it's symbolic to a relationship I had for 5 years with somebody. She also has infinity and in the same spot on her arm, but the actual infinity symbol, not in kanji. So I went to a guy's house, and he did this for me, and It's pretty decent. The ink has held up over the years. This must be at least 8 years old. Um, moving on to, I'm gonna show the hilarious ones at the end. Moving on to something that I did myself. I found this image online and I thought it was really cool. It is a robot with its heart broken out of its chest, and so I tattooed that on myself. It was definitely not easy, but I think I did a decent job. That's when I first started, so I'm actually surprised it turned out as well as it did. And I did a cloud up here, and I did these little TV robots falling from the cloud. It's kind of my signature thing, TV robots. I don't know. I'll have to draw it for you guys and kind of show you what that's supposed to look like. So I should have put these in order and like read off of something because I'm getting so confused at my own body right now. Okay, so this is a tattoo a friend of mine did who started working in a shop a few years back. This is Amy Mann. She is a singer, and she does everything independently. So I look up to her a lot. I've actually met her a few times. She's really cool. I love her music. It got me through some really hard times and continues to do that. So I figured, I might as well take some of her album art and put it on my body, sort of to like pay homage to her because I do respect her as an artist quite a bit. Where do I go next? Oh, these little symbols here. See, the love is there and that's there. This is when I first started tattooing, so I was basically just kind of practicing on myself at this point. So this is just like an X and a heart and two lines and an equal sign. It doesn't have any meaning. It's just there. It's just there. On the same hand, I also have 3 dots on my thumb for some reason, and I have 3 crosses on my thumb. I did all of those myself. To this. Okay, this is interesting. I was in Montreal, and I was thinking about getting a really cool tree. It was going to be like all like heavily shaded and like really dark and kind of fun. But I was on a budget because I just moved to a different city, so I didn't really know where to go and get it done. I did end up making an appointment with a tattoo shop, but the day I went there for my appointment, they weren't there. So I was like, well, whatever. I ended up walking down the street somewhere near my house, and some guy walked into me and was like, hey, I like your tattoos. I actually do them. And I was like, oh, perfect. I need a tree done. So, stupid me, I went to his house, which was like a block away, and he had this, like, I had no idea how unsanitary this was, like, at the time, but he was cleaning all of his equipment in a rice cooker, which doesn't work. A pressure cooker can work if you know how to use it, but a rice cooker is not the right tool. So, went in there and asked for a tree. He did this. We call it the noodle tree. It's he just drew this crazy tree with all these lines, and I was supposed to go back and get it filled in, but he wasn't there, so that didn't work out very well. I'm surprised I don't have hepatitis or HIV, and I'm very, very lucky. Okay, so here's another Montreal beauty. So I went again to Montreal a year or maybe 2 years later to live there again. Ended up back here in Winnipeg. I should never have come back, but whatever. I wanted to get a portrait of my grandmother. So I went to a shop, and I should have known right away that it was kind of weird because they were very unsure of themselves. And at first, I'll tell you this, it looked phenomenal. It was like so beautiful. Okay, but like 2 weeks later, it started to look like this. And I love my grandmother so much, so I'm kind of not happy. There's no facial features. It used to be, all that's left is her hair and her clothes. She does not look like this, I promise you. She's a beautiful woman, but I mean, eventually I would like to get that covered up, or I don't know if anybody can fix the existing image, but I could get a cover up and get another tattoo of her somewhere else, and that's probably what I'm gonna do. Let's backtrack a little bit. I was a carny for a couple of years. I worked at the carnival. I traveled. Again, before I got sick, when I was still able-bodied. I mean, this was like the hardest job I'd ever have. 16-hour days. I worked the Calgary Stampede for my first ever carnival, and we did deep-fried Oreos and Twinkies. We also did baked potatoes, but the Oreos sold better. So, in Calgary, this was my second professional tattoo ever. Let's see if I can get, I hope you can see this. What the heck does it mean? Oh yeah, it's another kanji tattoo. I'm so tacky, aren't I? It means chaos. Like I said, I got 3 on my body to sort of deflect the chaos in my life, but it didn't turn out so good. So that's down the back of my neck. It's probably going to be there forever. I don't plan on ever getting it covered up. And another tattoo from my travels is when I was doing another carnival experience in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I went to a tattoo shop and I wanted to get a symbol for my horoscope, which is Taurus. I'm a Taurus. I'm very true to the stereotypes of a Taurus. So I got this. A lot of people were kind of concerned and confused and felt very opinionated about my neck tattoo, but honestly, I don't care. I love it. But when I got it done the first time, it faded really quickly because, it's on your neck, right? So I had to go back, and it was lucky because I ended up dating somebody from Saskatoon, so I ended up going back to see her, going to the same tattoo shop, getting it touched up. So this is my Taurus tattoo, and yeah, that, it just means Taurus. Let's get to the one on my face. A lot of people ask me about this one. They stop me all over the place, in the streets, in the mall, everywhere I go. And they either say, "Why would you do that to your face?" Or they say, "That's really cool." And I actually have a pretty good explanation for it. It's a nautical star, black and supposed to be like a neon sort of green. I got that tattoo right after a very bad head injury. So you'd think, I wasn't thinking straight. I went and got a tattoo on my face and I was like totally out of it. But I was starting to get sick at that point in my life, and I kind of felt like something was going to happen. So, I was feeling kind of down, and I got this tattoo to symbolize, it's a star, so I wanted to feel like I mattered in life. And every time I look in the mirror, I look at it and I can think, okay, I don't want to say like I'm a star, but like it's kind of to sort of symbolize that I'm not just. It's funny because there are so many stars, but like I am important and I matter and maybe I'm beautiful. So that's what that tattoo is, and that's why it means so much to me. That's why I don't care when people have shitty things to say about it. Alright, so we're going to move on to the funny ones, and then we're going to go to the lower body ones and the chest ones. I was dating this girl when I worked for the carnival in Saskatoon, and she was an interesting person. I wanted to get a tattoo, and she really, really wanted me to get her name done. Usually people are smart enough to not ever do this ever. But my body's a canvas, and even though the relationship is over, I still see it as part of my growth and part of my life. So I got her name. I could only find one shop that was willing to do this in the entire city. Nobody else wanted to get somebody's name, and I think I had to lie about it. But that's her name. And to this day, every picture she sees on my Instagram with this tattoo in it, she likes it. So clearly she's still looking at me. I don't know why. Is that everything on my arm? I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, right. Nope, that's the other one. Okay. I also have this. It's just a treble clef. I wanted to get a bass clef on the other arm in the same place. That's a very pinchy spot. Like, it hurts. But that's my treble clef. And obviously I'm a musician, so, you know, you gotta get a treble clef somewhere on your body. I mean, that's just like, you have to do that. I'm gonna take my pants off now. I hope you're okay with that. So, all the tattoos on my legs, I did myself. Because when you are practicing to become a tattoo artist, like I was years ago, you have to practice on yourself. So let's start with the first one I did and why it's there. This is a spider. This tattoo actually means quite a bit to me, surprisingly. I had a pet tarantula as a teenager. His name was Steve. I named him after the crocodile hunter. And he died. And he was actually, you know, he was... I bought him because I wanted to get rid of my fear of spiders, and it sort of worked. So, you know, he was a big stepping stone in my life. And I figured I might as well put something on my body to remember him. So I did that. Okay, now we're going to move on to this thing. I don't know if you can see it all. I'm just going to do like a little... My legs are so scrawny. It's because I can't walk, sorry. This is a dragon that I did myself on my leg. It's like a half... I don't know if you call it like... if it's not a sleeve, it's on your leg, you call it a pant. It's like a half pant. Giant dragon. And I did that, again, to practice. And I love it. So let's get to something kind of funny again, another person's name. This was a girl I dated for a very brief period of time, and I kind of hurt her really badly, and I felt like crap about it. So I tattooed her name on me, just to kind of remember, you know, treat people well, and it's you know, it's there forever. I'm never gonna get it covered up. And this was just a horrible, horrible attempt at learning how to shade, and that's all that is. So I eventually got much better at that. So let's go to the other leg again. This is supposed to say fiend. Like I said before, I had a bad drug addiction when I was growing up. So I did that while I was on drugs, and it just says fiend. Like, actually it says fine, I think. It's not proper English. It doesn't make any sense. And the only reason it's still there is because I want to have something to remind myself that that's what happens when you do drugs, kids. You do stuff like that. It's an abomination, but it'll always be there. Okay, this is another practice piece. It says time is an illusion. I was trying to work with fonts because I was doing a big piece on somebody and I wanted to sort of get familiar with the font I was using. So I just did that, and I did some coloring because I was using different needles and I wanted to learn how to properly use those needles. So that's pretty much all that means. It's just a fun little tattoo that I did while practicing. This one is kind of sad. It is a sparrow, half colored in, and it says no future. I got that tattoo, I did that myself, because I honestly thought that I had no future, and at this point in my life, I am not sure about my future, because I got sick, and I can't really do what I used to be able to do anymore. So that tattoo is a prime example of why I'm trying to raise money so I can go on tour and spread awareness, and hopefully get some people out of that mentality, you know, that you don't have a future because you're sick or because, you know, you're living a life that people might not agree with. So you can see my scars have gotten a lot better. Anyways, I got these in Toronto right after I finished my first record. I got them because these are headhunter tattoos, and I believe like I sort of earned my my badge because I had recorded a full-length album, and I had traveled, and I had done what I wanted to do, and I succeeded in it before I got sick, of course. So that symbolized a big milestone in my life. And when I was in Toronto finishing up my record at the studio there, I got this just 2 hours before my plane back to Winnipeg, because I really wanted something on my body, very visible, that I could look at and say, that's what that means. I did it. I did a record. I did it. I completed it. So hopefully there's another one coming up for the next record, but I did forget one tattoo, this one. It's an anchor and an infinity symbol. It was supposed to sort of symbolize my transition, and also my previous relationship with the person I was with for 5 years. The infinity symbol, I mean, basically in that relationship, at that point in my life, I felt like I was being kind of grounded and anchored down by this person. So I got the tattoo to sort of say thank you for keeping me sane. And it also symbolized my transition, because that was when I was starting to really see changes, and there was a big change in my life. And every tattoo symbolized something important to me. So every time I get a tattoo, it's because something's changed, or I've done something that I'm proud of, or I'm practicing on myself. But that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of long, but I will try to cut it down as much as I can. Remember to please share and donate, if you can, to my fundraiser. I'll link all that to you. If you have any questions for me, my Tumblr, my email address, I'll give you all that. Also, for the next week, if you want a copy of my first record, I ever did, Fighting Kids for Swings, subscribe to my mailing list at www.parkerhatcher.com, and it's yours for free. So thank you for watching this, and come see me again tomorrow for trans-related topics. So transgender-related topics only. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you very much, and have a good day.